dissecting the three candles, C1, C2, C3, and CRT subtypes. Candle 1, candle 2, candle 3. This is the shape of an ideal CRT trade. Alright? Now, there are only two types of CRT candles, or candles in general. There's a candle where it's better for you, it's more lucrative to buy below the open, and there's candles where it's more lucrative to sell above the open. That's the only two candles that exist. Buy below the open, sell above the open, sell above the open. Model number 1, FVG, order block, all of those patterns are nothing more than a way to ride the wave of a candle which is better to be traded either from below the open or above the open. And listen to that once again if you have to. Candle 1, again, is accumulation. It's the market's moving in one direction. Usually, the bearish, and this is something I've never spoken about before. Excuse me. That's God wanting me to not expose this information. Excuse me. Bearish CRTs are usually bullish candle number 1s, and vice versa. Bullish CRTs usually have a bearish candle as candle number 1. And go back and investigate that. Go back, and here's I'll give you a sneak peek. This is a bearish CRT, and it's a bullish candle, and vice versa, right? See this bullish CRT? It was a bearish candle. So the color matters. It's not the be-all, end-all. It's not a fixed rule, but it's an observation. I advise you to go back into your charts and study. Candle 1, accumulation. Candle 2, manipulation. Candle 3, distribution. And a beginner trader might see this and just see 3 candles. But a veteran trader with a lot of experience can tell you that right here is the original consolidation of a market maker model at the CRT low. And the best market maker models, note this down, are the ones at CRT highs and lows. The best way to filter out, and this is why CRT even refines and validates market maker models. Original consolidation as a target is best and a higher probability when it lies at a CRT low. Right, so a beginner sees 3 candles. A more advanced student will see a market maker model over here with an SMR right there. And furthermore, an even more advanced student will see what's inside these wicks. Without going deeper, I know there's an OTE inside here. And notice how, it's like magic. When there's a long wick, then usually they go and smack into the 50% of the wick, and then they dump. Right, but you can see inside this wick, and inside this wick. If you go inside wicks like this, usually you'll see a range and a turtle soup and a decline. Inside this wick, you'll go and you'll see an OTE. Right? Over here is the market structure shift, up here. Right, so if you go inside candle 2, you'll see that there was a market structure shift to bearish, and then an OTE in candle 3. Only looking at the wick. So you can see the higher time frame candles from the lower time frame, and you can see the lower time frame from the higher time frame. CRT subtypes. Type 1 CRT. Classic, most favorable CRT type trade. Candle 1, 2, 3. Right, 3 candle model, which is also, by the way, stolen from something I taught before. Back in 2023, I think it was. I taught the world the 3 candle model, which was a primitive version of CRT. And you see some mentors nowadays teaching, and I say teaching very lightly because none of these people know what they're talking about. Right? I can't emphasize enough how full of shit these mentors are. And I can prove, if you were to see my DMs and see all these mentors in my DMs just a few years back, begging me to teach them, literally begging me to teach them, and names you'd be surprised, right? Huge names in the industry, massive names. Massive names, which I only need to mention the first name, and you'll know exactly who they are. There's a reason why I put the bio as a mentor of your mentor. And it's that, in my DMs, it's the graveyard of all the trading mentors, especially IST mentors, who go and act like they've cracked the algorithm. They act like they're the best things in sliced bread. They act like they've invented the wheel. But the reality is, they're nothing more than ex-beggars in my DMs for knowledge. Now, asking for knowledge is okay. You're supposed to go and literally beg. If you see someone who knows something you don't, then it's okay for you to go and literally beg them for it. Especially when it comes to knowledge, right? Not money. Because knowledge is power. If he can give you that knowledge he has, then he's transferring power to you. Right, but what's not good is you learning from someone, and then you go and you stab them in the back. Right? Have some morals, have some principles, have some integrity. There's a saying in Arabic that comes to mind, which is, I teach him archery every day, and when his arm got strong, he shot me. Right, so asking for knowledge is fine. We all started that way, even me. What's not fine is asking for knowledge, begging for knowledge, and after learning, turning your back on your teacher. The sanctity of the teacher and the mentor should always be preserved. Excuse me. Which is why I get pissed off when I see, not pissed off, just, I find it amusing, if anything, that these mentors have the nerve to come and claim to have discovered or invented something when it's nothing more than a rebranded, diluted version. It's not even better. It's a diluted, lower quality Temu version of what I have given to the world. Right, so here's the real 3 candle model right here. Of course, we're looking to trade candle number 3. And as you can see, inside here, there's a market source shift happening. Right, I can tell it without even looking at the candle. And inside here, there's another OTE happening. You can tell without looking at the candle. And of course, a failure swing, which will be spoken about more in the later chapters. Type 2 CRT. This one catches people off guard and is the most difficult to anticipate, which is it's going to go in CRT high and low at the same time. Right, open, high, low, close. So dumb money CRT pattern traders will come and say, bro, it didn't work. Bro, look at it. It worked. Yes, it worked. You just didn't know, right? That's the difference. So don't come and say it didn't work if you're not even familiar with the whole with the details of the concept, right? I saw someone on Twitter a while back showed me a Type 2 CRT as proof that CRT didn't work, while in fact it's proof that CRT does work and has subtypes, which you need to study. Type 2 CRT, candle 1 and candle 2 only, and that's it. Or vice versa, right? Bearish candle, bearish CRT is going to be a bullish candle. Type 3 CRT is candle 1 accumulation, candle 2 manipulation, and then candle 3 onwards distribution. So more than 3 candles. Type 4 is and in type 3 you want to chase, you want to avoid chasing candle 2. Let candle 2 play out like it wants to, right? Let the market makers manipulate like they want to. Then you have an easier, faster candle in candle number 3. Candle number 4 is the you have candle number 1, then you have an inside bar, right, which means it doesn't go and hit in the old high. In candle number 2, rather they wait for another candle to go in turtle soup, upset the orders, manipulate, and then distribute. Again, you'll find through study and trial and error that the easiest candle to trade and the candle which will never change, whether you're watching this now or in 5 years, 10 years, the candle which will never change is candle number 3. Candle 2 inside candle, candle 3 onwards distribution. Stop chasing candle number 2. Trade what's readily available. Trade the fastest candle. The fastest candle is the candle which happens after the manipulation candle, and write that down. Type 5 CRT is they print multiple inside candles and multiple candles to each target, right? So the least favorable, still tradable, because as long as you have this framework of this accumulation inside this candle, manipulation, then they're likely going to distribute to the other end of the candle, right? Range low, range high. CRT is nothing more than a range, right? It's a visualization of the range. Excuse me. Finally, you have Type C CRT, Type 6. Type 6 is also another one which messes with beginner traders and makes them doubt the concept. But all they should do is doubt themselves for not knowing the concept, right? So type 3 is candle 1, candle 2, and then candle 3, turtle soups, the turtle soup. This is the famous 3 drives pattern, right? Where they push price into one low, a second low, and a third low, with the exact purpose of stopping you out, right? This is the market makers at work in prime form. Low, dumb money buys now. Another low, dumb money gets stopped out and buys again. Another low, dumb money gets stopped out. The market makers purposely do this to push price below old lows, to stop out anyone from participating in the massive move that's coming. Yeah, Doc, that happens to me so many times. How can I avoid it? That's a topic for the next chapters. Finally, we've reached an important topic. Now, a common doubt I get is doubts from students that, hey doc, you know what, I want to learn, but I'm afraid it's going to stop working. Don't be afraid. It's not going to stop working. As long as we have these CRT grifters, as long as we have dumb money, as long as we have pattern traders in the markets, these concepts will never, ever stop working as long as the markets are tradable and available to us. Once again, these concepts have been running since the late 1800s. There is no reason for them to stop working now just because a couple hundred people, 1,000 people know about it. Right? So that's not a genuine concern you should be having. They will work as long as the markets are tradable. If the market makers take away the markets from us and we can no longer trade them, then sure, that's not the case. Which I rule out temporarily for the foreseeable future. If I see any changes to that, then I'll warn you all. All right, I'll let you know. So the knowledge you have right now, don't go around marketing it. Don't go around trying to build a following with it. Focus on building your bank account rather than your social media account. Right? Focus on increasing the number in your pocket, not the number of people who follow you. They won't help you in anything. Right? I get the criticism I get. Oh, bro, you're selling a course, bro. I make tens and if not hundreds of times the amount of money I make through trading than I do through teaching. In fact, when I'm teaching, I actually lose money, right? Because I'm focusing on you guys and not myself. I'm not as locked in trading as I should be. But I do it for you guys. And I especially dedicate this year to you guys. And the reason I brought this up was to remind you all who might find it, you might find it enticing to build a social media group, whether it's to practice with others or whatever. But the best trading is done by yourself. The most money I've made trading was by myself in my room with nobody. Zero trade ideas, zero confluence, nothing. Just you, your charts. Everything else is noise. So don't go around marketing CRT. Learn it. You learn to be happy. You're learning. You're amongst the first people to learn. And I'm not sure how popular this will get in the next 5-10 years. But you're amongst the first to learn this. Stuff it in your mattress. Put it in a will for your grandchildren. Right, once you learn properly. And just keep it to yourself. There's no reason for you to go around marketing it and telling people to, hey, look, CRT, bro. There's no need for that. All right, so back to the butterfly effect model, which is one of my favorite models, which is a consistent high risk to reward model. Now, this is an advanced model, a preface. This is an extremely advanced model. A beginner who tries this model is going to get burned. Burnt alive. All right, so beginner traders, stay away from this. Intermediate traders, stay away from this. Advanced traders, give it a shot. The butterfly effect model is a consistent, the most consistent, high risk to reward model that there is. right? In simple terms, and you'd expect something like this to have some geometry involved, but no. It's simply risking the lower time frame CRT candle to target the higher time frame CRT candle. The entry is going to be, model number 1 of the lower time frame candle, and implement candle profiles to increase success rate. Here's an example. And this is not some hindsight garbage, which you're seeing like you see from everyone else. This is someone who's called the markets, me, live more than anyone ever will. Who's proven his accuracy as a public 81%, a bit more accuracy publicly in a public setting. Which is why sometimes I fear that they're just going to shut my account down one day. Right? I've traded this model multiple times, numerous times in front of you all, live, but I never told you what it was until now. Right? The first time I alluded to it was in 2023. But I've never ever blatantly taught it like I have right now. So focus and understand what you're bringing in. Understand the power. Understand the excuse me. Understand the power of what I'm handing to you right now. This model is one of the fastest, of course, only for the advanced student, is one of the fastest wealth building machines that has ever existed in trading. And no, that's not me marketing. And no, that's not even an exaggeration. Because it's so simple, yet so mechanical, yet gives such an astounding risk to reward ratio. Here's a higher time CRT candle, right? CRT high, low, type. That's the homework. What type of CRT is this? CRT high, low, rally. When you see a CRT on the higher time frame, then you can safely assume that the lower time frame has a model number 1 without looking, right? So ignore this. Just look at this. I can tell you straight away that there is a model number 1 at the low, on the lower time frame. And that lower time frame model number 1 has a CRT. And that CRT on the lower time frame of the model number 1 has another model number 1. And this goes on forever until the smallest time frames, the 1 second time frame, the millisecond time frame, which the public doesn't have access to. Yes, it exists. Right, so the risk is going to be this lower time frame CRT candle, model number 1 inside here. It looks like a gamble. Oh, bro, but you're gambling, bro. It's the wick. No, it's not a wick. It's a model number 1 inside here. Risk of that, and the reward is going to be the higher time frame CRT high. Another example is over here. CRT high, low. Again, let's practice what I said just now, which is I can already tell there's a model number 1 up here. See if that's true. Yep. This one specific up close candle. Now this is an unusual form of model number 1, which is why in this case you would enter where? Up here in the lower time frame model number 1. Because if you're going to wait for this one to go, for price to go all the way down and wait to enter this candle's low, then the risk to reward simply isn't there, right? And this is what differentiates us from pattern traders. A pattern trader would say, you know what, yeah, let's wait for this one. Nope. We are trading the logic of price. We're trading the logic of how market makers move the price and why. Not the pattern. The pattern doesn't matter. And up there, you'll find a model number one right here. So the risk is going to be the lower time frame model number one, and the reward is going to be the higher time frame CRT. Targeting at first the 50%. Always target the 50% at first.